educator in the universities of MP, UP, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Telangana, and Andhra Pradesh. He is a paper setter and member, Board of Studies in numerous universities. He is the member of selection committees and many more. He is also an assessor in NAC peer teams. He has been honored with Best Librarian, Best University Librarian, and Lifetime Achievement Award for the same. So I would like to invite Dr. G.H.S. Naidu, and he will be deliberating today on the topic institutional repositories. Naidu, sir, please take the session.
Okay, madam. Thank you, madam. Thank you for your kind words. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon to everybody. My dear HOIs, heads of the departments. Madam, is my screen visible to everybody?
You are visible, but screen is not visible.
Sir, मैंने share करके रखा था, sir.
वो share करके रखा था, लेकिन यहाँ दिख नहीं रहा है.
Sir, sir, आ रहे, sir, आ रहे, sir.
आगे.
Yes, sir.
So, sir, today's topic is the institutional repositories, how they are useful for an institution, and what is the role of the librarian in building the institutional repositories. On this topic, I would like to have some inputs from the faculty and from the heads and HYs, and advice from our Honorable Vice Chancellor. So, that guy slideshow from the beginning. So, sir, to start with, we have good number of research and higher education institutions in India which have international recognition, and these institutes through their research are producing large number of research documents which is part of the universal knowledge, and it indicates the scope of technological innovation that is taking place. In fact, the success and the achievement of these institutions will give rise to a promising research environment wherein these institutions can get good collaborative research work in all disciplines. As a librarian, I would like to say that these institutions are marching ahead of other institutions because these institutions are using information and communication technologies for the information management and dissemination in those institutes. So these institutes are providing the research information or the information what they have generated to their own scholars and to the scholars across the globe. That means when we are sharing our knowledge, it will definitely lead to further development in the same discipline, and institutional repository comes here playing a big role. An institutional repository is nothing but an extension of a digital library where the content is digitally stored and universally available to everybody. So that's what I would like to mention in a generic sense. An institutional repository means many things. It can be it is a library, it is an archive, it is a museum, or it is a warehouse of information which stores and records all the information of that institution in one place. So it is the institutional repositories provide a set of services to its own academic community by helping in the scholarly publication generated through research and development in their own institute by the faculty, staff, research scholars, and this information or this scholarly publications is an asset, knowledge asset of the institution in long run. In fact, the institutional repositories, they complement the traditional publication process of the research journals. It will enable the information seekers to find what are the publications of their faculty or what is the work done by their own students, and for this they index the total literature that is available in the institute so that it is visible for the community of the institute, and it will also give a view to the employers regarding the output of their faculty and research scholars. So within this specific context, institutional repository will contribute to increase the institution's prestige and nourish the idea of IR because it manages and preserves the information that is available in the university or in the research institute. And so for this, the IR will bring all the literature or all the information or all the intellectual output of the institute into one place. That means you can include many things in institutional repositories. Since we are in the university environment, I would like to mention that in an institutional in the institutional repository of an university, we can include research journal articles before publication and after publication, and the digital version of the PhD thesis, dissertations, PowerPoint presentations of the faculty members, and it may also include the university photographs or the videos or the administrative documents or the course notes, assignments given to the students, or any other learning objectives which will be of use to the academic community inside the university. So to start about how the idea of or the need or how this institutional repositories got their origin is, it can be taken back to 1988 when Peter Drucker published a paper on the coming of the new organization in Harvard Business Review. So in his paper, Drucker argued that for the modern organization, knowledge has become most important asset, and those organizations which are able to manage and exploit their corporate knowledge assets will be the most successful in the marketplace. Means he has emphasized on knowledge and knowledge resources in the corporate sector. So he did not explain what he meant by knowledge, but he was very clear that knowledge manifests in many forms in the organization, ranging from patents and trade secrets to operational routines and technical expertise inside the institution. So subsequently, books, research articles, conference papers, and many other pieces of information or items of information in the multidisciplinary fields have started, and business management have elaborated Drucker's idea about the importance of knowledge management in the organization. So, in another way, that's how the need for the internal means organization of the knowledge resources available in the institute or in an organization, how it should be organized systematic way. An idea came from Professor Peter F. Drucker. Now, on the other side, the research community is not fully happy, or was very much disappointed with the inability created by the closed access to scholarly literature, or the anomalies that are coming out in the journal publishing in the area of pricing, access, copyright, and the monopoly of many other issues. So as a result, the academic community thought that we have to find out a way, and the way was open access. So the essence of open access initiatives is to make the research articles to everybody in all the academic fields of activity freely, so that institutions can make use of this vast information and do better research. So in this area, again, the institutional repositories will play a greater role in the organization. Now, the institutional repositories, they simply serve as an engine of change. If you want to change, if you want to increase, if you want to enhance, you need the information. And if the information is easily available for you or within the organization, you can definitely do better research. So it is worthwhile of having an institutional repository, so that it will help the research programs, projects, or the initiatives of the institution and the world. So if we have organized the research output of the organization, this will definitely reach to a larger group of organizations or researchers, and definitely it will attract the civil institutions or the academia who are working in similar areas to collaborate with the institute and to share their knowledge, expertise, and skills. In this way, an institutional repository will be a boon for the institution in promoting the research interests of the institution and to play its role in increasing the research goals of the university or institutes. So basically, this institutional repository does nothing other than making the publications of the university available universally, so that let everybody in the area of research know that so and so university, so and so university institute is doing research on this area. So let us interact, or let us coordinate, collaborate, let us share, so that we can do better research. So basically, the characteristics of institutional repositories have been identified as 5 by Gibbons. One is, if you are talking about institutional depository, you are supposed to define what is the content that you are depositing in that institutional repository. What is the kind of documents, what is the content that you are making it available for the world. Then what is the content? It is purely scholarly or other than scholarly. Say, for example, the annual reports or some other conference papers and all other things. Then what he said is, in an institutional repository, once it is added, it will remain forever. It will be with the institution, because that particular piece of information or that item is the asset, or is the capital, or is the sole proprietary item of that institute. And it is open and interoperable, means anybody can read it. It is open to everybody, and it contributes to the process of organizing scholarly communication to the world across. So, as already I have said, in this way, in the knowledge society, sharing of information globally is a must. For that, as a basic, as the first step, the institute should have its own mechanism to make the literature or to make the research contributions of the institute or university to the people beyond the institute, so that everybody can make use of the research information or the literature that we have generated. In this way, the libraries can play a vital role by using new technologies or by introducing new techniques, so that as a library, it can play a vital role in promoting the research of the institute. And the biggest advantage of an institutional repository is that the access to information is free, and anybody can download any number of times and use it. He can circulate it, he can distribute it to anybody without any limitations or without any conditions. So it is a one-stop source for all the intellectual output of the organization. I need not go and check for the information from Department A, Department B, Department C, and so on. Just let me look into the institutional repositories of the institute or of the university under the subject headings or under the output of the individual departments. Everything will be available in one source. So in that way, an IR will be a big boon for the university to promote its research information to the academic community outside the institution. So the benefits. Suppose if the institute has an institutional repository, what are the benefits? It has benefits for the institution, and it has benefits for the research community or for the users, and it is useful for both the other way. So first of all, for the users, expansion of range of knowledge that can be shared easily, because I cannot get my research information published elsewhere. So I can put it in my university IR, and let anybody can make use of my paper or my research contribution. I'm not worried about my API, or I'm not worried about the impact factor of the journal in which I'm going to publish. I did some research. I want to make it available to the world across, and so I have asked to include my research paper or research information in the institutional repository, and the institutional my institution's repository will take care of the remaining part of my research work. And in this way, my research is being disseminated to the world with little effort. I did my research, I compiled my research paper, I prepared my research paper, I posted it on the institutional repository, and the entire world which search for that particular piece of information, it is available to everybody. For the institution, it is intellectual property rights, because this research was carried out in this university by me. It is a property of that university. It is the property of that institution. And this is how the university can invest in information and content management. And it will also say that what is the quality of intellectual capital or intellectual literature that institution is having. In that way, it will be an IR will be beneficial for the institute as well. For both, it is easy for scholarly communication and flexible way to develop the scholarly communication. The contents, earlier also I said, again I am repeating, the contents that can be included in the institutional repositories can be a variety, a preprint or reprint, a research report, or an article in a journal, or revised text published with comments from academicians and readers, conference papers, teaching material, which I use it for my for our students, the projects developed or designed by our students, the doctoral thesis and dissertations of the institute, the databases, the data resulting from the research projects, the committee papers, administrative papers, photographs, videographs, and many more content can be included in the IR. The constraints. Suppose we want to develop an institutional repository in an institute or in an university. There is the first challenge is open access. My article can get easily published in a research journal. Then why should I post my content, or why should I host my content in the university IR? That is the first issue. The other one, management support availability of IR expertise and the willingness of the authors to participate. These are some of the three issues. Management support availability of IR expert means we don't have much of an expertise, how to get the expertise. And the other thing is, as I said earlier, when I can get my research paper easily published in any open access journal, why I should host it exclusively on my institutional repository? That's what these are the two issues. And then if you don't have a well-defined institutional policy of what items should be included in IR, then definitely it will not work. So before developing an institutional library, the institute or the university should have a well-defined policy what content we are going to deposit or we are going to keep, and who are the people that will be reviewing that particular content. I prepared a document, I prepared a research paper. It doesn't mean that it should automatically be made available on the institute or university IR. This needs to be reviewed, or this needs to be evaluated technically, then only that should be posted on the institutional repository. Otherwise, the quality of the institutional repositories will decrease. And since it is the intellectual capital of the institute, or it is an asset of the institute, it will give a negative picture to the academic community outside the university. Another reason is that after submitting, if it is taking a lot of time to get it included in the IR, definitely the author may say that instead of submitting my paper into the institute's IR, let me publish elsewhere. The other reason is that ignorance of the community, in which in the institute or the university, where people are not aware there is an institutional repository. My research information or my research papers can be easily publicized or disseminated to the world through this IR. In the absence of such information, definitely an IR cannot be a successful model. Even if we have developed, even if the institutions have developed institutional repositories in India, even today, many of the top level institutes, they are not making available their institutional repositories globally. They are making it in their intranet, or many a times, if it is a small institute, they have developed and they are using it on standalone system for various reasons, like there may be a copyright issue from the publisher, there may be reservation of the management not to throw open the intellectual capital of the institute to the world. So these are the things which come in the way of developing institutional repositories. The other issue is the language also is one of the barrier in developing the institutional repositories. The other reasons are they do not meet the expectations of the users, and they do not meet the expectations of the institution, and they doesn't have sufficient funds to modifications in the IR. Say we submit a proposal to develop an IR for the university, we get a grant. In many institutions, in many cases, after getting the grant, we developed an IR, and for further maintenance, we don't have any fund. Then the system will go down. So in that way, the fund also is another issue. Then technical problems encountered by the in-house staff, and awareness of the users, and standardization and incompatibility of the software. What I developed, what are the parameters, what are the elements I have used to retrieve a particular document in my IR should be a standardized format, should be internationally exchangeable to the other people. So this is the minimum hardware requirement for developing an institutional repository, and we have good number of open source softwares for developing an institutional repository, and all these softwares are, since as I said, it is open source, easy to operate, easy to develop, and easy to create your own institutional repository. So when we have come to the conclusion that the institution should have an institutional repository because of its advantages, and the institution is very much aware what are the constraints that are going to come in its way. Still, if the institute or the university thinks of developing an institutional repository, then the first and the foremost is it's the policy. If you have laid down a sound policy of how to create, what to include, and how to provide access, and what are the systems that need to be included in the IR, then definitely it will survive long, otherwise it may collapse. So the first and foremost is what content that is available in your IR, what content you want to accept, and what are the material that is digitally available for you, and what is that is not available for you. These things you have to decide. In the IR, we will include the literature or the content in the following areas, or in the following formats, and from the following sources only. If we have laid down this particular policy, then definitely it will be easy for the IR manager or IR administrator to develop at the next stages. Then authenticity of the authors. If means the authenticity of the author who has published, whether he is affiliated to the organization, or you can give the authors of others also who want to post their content in your organizational IR. And what would be the repository structure? It is departmental or individual, or perhaps a combination. So like this, there are policy issues which have to be taken care before developing an IR. So these are some of the skills for the management of the institutional repository. So around 133 institutions in India have developed their institutional repositories as per the Registry of Open Access Repositories, and the total content available in these things is more than 123,000 records. The institutes like Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, many IITs, IIMs, central universities, national level, CSIR labs, and ICR institutes, and other things, they have developed their institutional repositories. But as I said earlier, all the institutions have not made their institutional repositories open access to everybody. Still, they have their own limitations of providing their institutional repositories under intranet only. So these are their websites, and this is the content that is available. IIT Delhi, IIT Kanpur. I just made an effort to find out what are the content available. Around 157,676 records are available, and IIM Calcutta, Ahmedabad, IIT Mandi. These are the institutions, and these others include annual reports, convocation address, project reports, conference proceedings, news items, videos, and so on. So this is how means as I discussed earlier. In this way, you can develop the means this is schematic presentation of how to develop IR and the future. The future is that scholarly communication and free availability of information in digital version will definitely boost the institution's knowledge resource. Will be definitely boosting. And the other thing, lack of funds for recurring expenditure like maintenance, upgradation of software, this can be a major concern in designing and developing institutional repositories. And there are means even the digital content, since new techniques or new technologies are coming, even the medium in which we are storing today, we are storing the information today may get outdated tomorrow. In that way, it can create a problem, it can pose a problem, and training is necessary. Training is necessary for both the operational staff of the library who are taking care of the institutional repository, and an awareness or training of the academic community of what they can search. So in conclusion, an institutional repository is a well-managed digital form of intellectual output of the institute or of the university that offers a strategic response to the opportunities of digitally networked environment through which anybody from any corner of the world can search your content, and it will give an opportunity to solve out the problems encountered by the academic community in the scholarly communication. So these are some of the things librarians have to understand their role, and they have to make themselves visible in the institute, or they have to say that the librarian has to ascertain that how important he is in the promotion of research support services of the institute. And the libraries and the librarians must facilitate authors to help them in depositing their content, and by maintaining your own IR, institution can provide right information to the right user at the right time, as said by Dr. S.R. Ranganathan. And the final session is that the government of India, in one word, the government of India or the state governments or the authorities involved in managing the higher education institutes or the research institutes, they should have a clear-cut policy of developing an IR so that the institutional resources or the institutional knowledge resources can be stored properly and can be utilized for future. So these are other things which are basically for librarians. This is my presentation. Madam.
Sir, any query from anybody's end?
See, now, so far as we are concerned,
Sir?
where are we lagging?
Sir?
Where are we lagging?
Sir, so far we have not, we have to develop an IR for our own university, sir. I have in my mind.
But it has to come out of the mind and we have to see it in action.
Sir,
when will that happen?
Sir, in 22 only, sir. No, 23, sir.
But 22 has even 9 months more. So it should be within this session. That is
Uh,
current academic session. That is 21-22.
Sir, before June, sir.
Yes.
Before June, it will take a shape, sir.
So what is the action required?
Action, there is nothing, sir. We have to, means already the, means we have open source software, sir. And means, above me, this CSIT department, they are very kind, sir. They will be providing as a system and other things. And Subhash Kode, sir, he already got 15 days training program in INSDOC way back in 2019. I will make use of it on the same, sir, using of the same DSpace software. And we will develop, sir.
Oh, you see, we are already 8 years old.
Yes, sir.
So we need to have it now.
Yes, sir.
What about Google Scholar account? Everybody is having now?
Not yet, sir. On the other day, I mailed it to all the new faculty members, sir. And from them, 5 or 6 members, they said, sir, you give me time till Holi so that we have a lot of papers to include. So that's why I'm not coming with the latest report to you, sir. On 21st, probably, I will come to you with the latest report, sir.
See, we are not to keep on waiting. We need to do it fast.
Yes, sir.
Anyone who has not opened, he has to open it. It's a must now.
Yes, sir.
And what about Udhbhavana?
Sir, automatically, sir, this will, sir, Udhbhavana and Google Scholar both are interrelated, sir.
Okay. Similarly, on other platforms also, faculty should open their accounts.
Yes, sir.
Now this, so far as the repository is concerned, this is very much required.
Sir.
And we are applying to NAC also.
Yes, sir.
That it will be very helpful.
Sir, sir, since you have mentioned NAC, sir, I will give a practical example of DAVV, sir. During the, not this visit, during the previous visit, sir, when they visited the library, we simply mentioned that we are thinking of developing an institutional repository of DAVV. Then they said it is a good idea, you go ahead, and that made the library to get some plus, sir, in the assessment.
No, but yes, that's right. So we have to start taking steps now.
Yes, sir. Definitely, sir. Before June, you will see the results, sir. Means the results will be visible, sir.
Okay. Professor Guru Prasad has some question.
Naidu sir, this for this repository, everything has to be in the digital form, right?
Yes, sir.
So can we start with whatever is in the digital form already and add on to that?
Sir, that is the first tips. That can be immediately done, sir. Sir, when you were there in DAVV, sir, many of your faculty, they have given the research papers and we have included it, means in our institutional repository DAVV, sir, about 8 to 9 years back.
Yeah, I mean, if because everybody must be having their research papers at least with them in the
Yes, sir.
digital form, right?
Yes, sir.
Whatever is in the digital form.
Yes, sir.
So if we can start with adding on that first,
yes, sir.
Will it be the first step?
Sir, definitely, sir. In this, sir, the major contribution should be from the faculty, sir. They should make the documents available to the library people.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Awesome.
That's right.
Awesome.
Like all the papers which we have in the digital form now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that can be, but those which are not in the digital form, then they have to be brought into that. No?
Sir, we have to do scan it.
Yeah, that is one thing.
Convert it into PDF and then we can upload, sir, provided it has no copyright issues, sir.
Yeah. And another thing is we already have thesis in the soft copies, right?
Sir, that already we have uploaded it in what you call that, sir, Shodh Ganga. All PhD thesis, sir.
Yeah, but will it be part of this in our repository also?
No, sir. If we want, we can means we can include the total thesis in our IR, sir.
We can do that.
Yes, sir. In fact, that is one of the component of IR, sir.
That is component of IR.
Yes, sir.
And what else can be the component? Books.
Sir, in any university, sir, we can think of the question papers.
Okay.
And then, sir, the project reports.
Project reports. And
yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Sir.
Naiduji, I have one question. What is our planning about the repository structure? Whether we create different level for different user or we can create centralized nodes for data collection and maintenance?
Sir, totally centralized, sir.
Okay.
It will be totally done by the library people only.
But in that case, the regular maintenance and updation of information is a big challenge.
Sir, that will be from your side, sir.
And second part, instead of maintaining the data on a local machine, we can upload it on cloud.
That can be, sir.
We link up our university repository with our website, and the total content will be on cloud.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, the thing is that, sir, as I said in the previous slides, first of all, the university has to decide that the content should be universally available to everybody or only to the academic community of the university.
Accordingly, we need to create the credentials for the user to access the data.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
See, this repository will be developing with the help of Institute of Information Technology.
Yes, sir.
So don't they know about it?
They know better than me, sir.
No, but do they know that they have to help you in this?
Sir, without
or repository.
Sir, without him, I cannot move a step forward, sir.
No, but इनको तो मालूम ही नहीं है.
आप रिपोजिटरी पे काम कर रहे हैं, ऐसी कोई प्लानिंग है ये मुझे नहीं पता है, पर अब पता है, अब हेल्प करूंगा.
ये देखिए, इनको तो पता ही नहीं है, अब आइसोलेशन में चल रहा मामला.
बाकी ये सजेशंस हैं सर कि लोकल डाटा मेंटेन करने की बजाय रिपोजिटरी का सारा डाटा क्लाउड पे रखेंगे हम, जो ऑलरेडी अपना यूनिवर्सिटी के नाम से जो क्लाउड अपन लेंगे माइक्रोसॉफ्ट एजोर पे, वहीं डिपॉजिट करेंगे. भाई आप प्लैनेट पे रखो या क्लाउड पे रख लो, लेकिन उससे बेनिफिट ये है कि सर यूजर कैन एक्सेस फ्रॉम एनीवेयर एनी टाइम. अब जो नायडू जी बता रहे हैं कि अपने को वो देखना है कि ये ओपन रहेगा या हमको क्रेडेंशियल्स देने हैं टू एक्सेस फॉर द लिमिटेड यूजर्स, वो एक डिसीजन है जो हमको लेना है. हाँ, तो वो हो जाएगा. अब जो जिन के पास अभी ऑलरेडी अवेलेबल है, दिस पब्लिकेशंस आर अवेलेबल इन दिस फॉर्मेट, रिक्विजिट फॉर्मेट, तो उनका करना शुरू करो, बाकी ऐड होते जाएंगे.
ओके सर.
जैसे मेरे अवेलेबल है, शुरू करिए. प्रोफेसर गुरु प्रसाद के भी होंगे, वो भी लगा दीजिए. जिनके भी तैयार है डालना शुरू करिए. बाकी ये तो कंटिन्यूअस प्रोसेस है, जैसे जैसे पब्लिकेशन होती है वैसे वैसे उनको फिर पीडीएफ बनाते हैं, क्या बोलते हैं उसको, स्कैन करके रखते हैं. स्कैन ही चलेगा ना आपको?
नहीं सर, वो जो है द सॉफ्ट कॉपी इन
पीडीएफ फॉर्म ना. So many people have it in PDF form now, because even the journals send it in PDF form. Even if they print, they also send it in PDF form.
Yes, PDF form तो naturally जो स्कैन करते हैं वो भी तो PDF ही होता है.
वो PDF में कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा सर, फाइल फॉर्मेट में चेंज हो जाएगा, कोई चैलेंज नहीं है.
जो स्कैन होता है
वो JPG होता है, बेसिकली फोटो उसमें होता है, JPG में होता है.
नहीं, जैसे मेरी पब्लिकेशंस जो है स्कैन हो जाती है
जी,
वो स्कैन इसके अश्विन के पास अवेलेबल है, तो वो उस फॉर्मेट में नहीं लगेगा, उसको कन्वर्ट करना पड़ेगा. फिर
सर हो जाएगा, वो कन्वर्ट भी हो जाता है.
कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा सर.
PDF में हो जाता।
हाँ तो आई थिंक डॉक्टर नायडू शुड स्टार्ट द प्रोसेस।
यस सर।
सभी से ले लीजिए, जिन जिन के पास अवेलेबल है, तो तभी शुरुआत होगी। जब इनिशिएटिव ले लेंगे
यस
तो शुरुआत हो जाएगी।
और जैसे क्वेश्चन बैंक है तो एग्जामिनेशन के पास सभी क्वेश्चन पेपर्स पीडीएफ में अवेलेबल हैं, वो आप स्टार्ट कर सकते हो इमीडिएट, उसमें कोई चैलेंज नहीं।
एग्जामिनेशन फॉर्म, एग्जामिनेशन क्वेश्चन पेपर्स को भी तो वैसे ही करते होंगे, स्कैन करके नोट करते होंगे।
वो है सर, पीडीएफ फॉर्मेट में है सर।
ओके, अभी अपना मैंने कहा था नायडू जी, अपना व्हाट इज द टोटल और गूगल स्कॉलर स्कोर क्या है टोटल यूनिवर्सिटी का?
सर विद्वान स्कोर,
नॉट एवरेज, नॉट एवरेज।
No, not average. Sir, it was somewhere around 1500 to 1600 के बीच में चल रहा है।
तो वो थोड़ा एग्जैक्टली बताइए, और सो दैट वी कैन ट्रैक इट कि वो क्या बढ़ रहा है, घट रहा है, कहाँ रहा है, कहाँ पर है।
Sir, because sir, some about 5 to 7 faculty members asked time till Holi. That's why I have not taken the record today, sir.
नहीं, उनको टाइम चाहिए, वो टाइम लेते रहे, लेकिन हम बाकी तक करें, जिनका डेटा आपके पास है उनके बेसिस पे निकाल लीजिए। वी शुड नॉट बी डिपेंडेंट ऑन सच पीपल। जो लगाड़ है वो लगाड़ है, हम तो आगे तो बढ़े।
Sir, I will report it, sir, by tomorrow morning.
हाँ, कल मेरे को बताइए टोटल गूगल स्कोर कितना पहुंचा, इस पर से अपना उधर कितना जा रहा है, उसमें अपना विद्वान में कहाँ जा रहा है, उसका भी टोटल स्कोर निकालें।
Okay, sir.
ताकि पता तो रहे, बिकॉज ये हमें NIRF वगैरह इस तरह की जो रैंकिंग्स हो रही है आजकल, उनमें जरूरत लगती है इसकी, बिकॉज दे आर गोइंग मोर बाय क्वांटिटेटिव डेटा।
Yes, sir.
वो क्वांटिटेटिव यही है, और क्या है मेंशन कर सकते हैं हम लोग। अभी नेक्स्ट,
I got one question.
हाँ,
Whether you store your data in cloud or in any Java server?
वो आनंद कैन रिप्लाई योर क्वेश्चन।
Sir, we will plan to store data on cloud.
Cloud.
Yeah.
And the file format, you already told that it will be in the PDF.
PDF format.
Any other format is useful for storage?
Naidu, Naidu ji, whatever open source software is available, they support PDF or other format also.
नहीं sir, the other for आपका भी video lectures भी we can upload, sir. Everything, sir.
मेरे ख्याल से
Any
JPG
readme
में
file,
भी
any readme file can be uploaded.
uploaded होगा।
What is the size of server we have here? Any Java server is there to start with?
No, sir, we don't have any server machine for the database storage. Our complete ERP data is stored on cloud.
What is is it required for any plagiarism tool also? Suppose you want to store a data which has got plagiarized. Before storing a data, is it to be plagiarized?
Yeah, Naidu ji, it is required.
Sir, the data
Because
that
all
has,
the publications they reject because of plagiarism.
no, sir.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Sir,
Because you
data
store everything
means,
and
the
finally we
research
find it is plagiarized.
Sir, that's what I'm telling, sir. The research publications already published in other medias means they already got all the necessary checks and balances, and then that research paper was published. For those things, we are not going to do anything. As I said in the policy issues, sir, of how to maintain the what content to be included, what content to be ignored. There definitely, sir, if your research paper, if my research paper has not been published in any research journal, I just want to host it on our institutional repository. Definitely, sir, the university is having a anti-plagiarism software issue, being provided to the university by UGC. We will be using the same software. We will detect it, and if it is coming within the norms of the university or the UGC, then only that content will be taken into our IR, sir. Otherwise, it will not be, sir. Even today, sir, even the conference papers that are to be presented in our university, everything is first checked, and if it comes within the guidelines of the university, then only that paper is being accepted, sir. Otherwise, that paper is being written to the respective author for revision and or whatever it is, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
पांडे जी है some question. वो छुट्टी कर गए, वो देखो कैमरा बंद कर दिया.
नहीं,
कहाँ गया अभी? मैकेनिकल वाले ऐसे भाग जाते हैं.
पंडित जी हैं आप? श्रीकांत पांडे जी?
नहीं, अभी तो था सर.
हाँ.
नहीं है सर. Okay, Priya ma'am, kindly propose the words of thanks.
हाँ जी. चलिए, anybody है और किसी को तो क्वेश्चन है नहीं?
Good afternoon to all. I, Priya Sarnoy, co-coordinator of Udhbhavana 2021-22. On behalf of our team, I take this privilege to propose a vote of thanks to all those who helped us in making this session of Udhbhavana. Thank you very much, Dr. Naidu sir, for delivering such a topic. I extend my sincere thanks to Vice Chancellor sir, Dean ma'am, all the HOI and HODs, Dr. Ashutosh Shukla sir, coordinator of Udhbhavana 2021-22, and Mrs. Anjali Gupta ma'am, co-coordinator of Udhbhavana 2021-22. I am very thankful to the technical team of SBIIT. I also offer my sincere thanks to all the attendees for being with us. Thank you, everyone. The next Udhbhavana is on 19th of April. Once again, thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, thank you everybody. Sir.
धन्यवाद.
Thank you, sir.
नायडू साहब धन्यवाद.
Sir, thank you, sir.